Hey, this is Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com, and I want to take a few minutes to show you some basic little tricks that I do when I'm doing a little bit of digital makeup or makeovers, if you will. Just focused in on this eye here. I want to show you this little trick, and I'm going to go ahead and start with a new layer here, so you can actually see. This is, I'm going to start here from the very beginning. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create a second layer to this. And I want to come here, there's a particular way I want to do this, and come from the drop menu and say new layer. And the reason I'm going there is it gives me the little pop-up window here. And I want to come down and set this layer to overlay. Okay. And then I'm going to say fill with neutral color, 50% gray. And we'll say OK. So now we actually have this new layer here. Nothing's going to change there. But what happens with this layer, anything we paint on this layer in black will get darker. Anything we paint in white will get lighter. So I'm going to get my default color simply by pressing D. Get a black foreground, white background. And let's go to our brush. And I'm going to set this to normal. Now my opacity, I'm going to drop it down to about 50%. And the flow, as in how much paint comes out, I'm going to drop that down to about 20%. Now the reason I'm doing this is we can actually work and play around with less is more. Okay, because you can always add on to stuff, but it gets a little bit tricky to take it away. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make my brush a little bit larger here. I'm just using my bracket keys on the keyboard to actually enlarge that. Now I've got the color set to black. I want to show you a trick here. I'm going to first do the eyeliner. And just come down here at the base. And if you notice, wherever I'm painting, it is actually getting darker. So I'm not actually just painting black, I'm saying darken the layer that's right beneath this. Okay? All right. So that's before and that's after, okay? And the next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to lighten part of this eye. So I'm going to use white this time and make my brush a little bit larger and just start painting in this area here. And again, I'm just using very light strokes here. I've got everything set pretty low. So there's before and after. And we can also lighten up part of the white of the eye. I'm going to... Okay. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is, in addition to just using black and white, you can come in and sample colors. There's already makeup here, but I want to intensify this a little bit more. So I've got my brush. I'm going to simply hold down my Option key, Alt on PC, and sample part of that. And I think I'm going to bring my opacity down a lot lower. Let's undo some of those strokes there. Let's do our opacity at about 20%. All right. So I'm just going to start painting. Again, I'll sample that area and just start painting that same color. Okay. And I'll sample this lightened area and do the same thing to the upper section there. All right, so there's before and after. And now we've gotten that part done. Something else I do want to work on is actually, it's not a lot, but I do want to take out some of these little crow's feet, if you will. There's not a lot, but I still want to take them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the healing brush. And so I'll sample, hold on my Option key, Alt on PC, right next to it, and I'll paint directly over it. Same here, sample, and paint directly over that. And so those will go away. That little line right there, sample. All right, so all those lines are gone. And let's see. I think that's about it. One last thing. I'm going to go back to our overlay layer. I'm going to get a different type of blue here. Grab our paintbrush. And I'll just start painting this in. And again, we've got this on a pretty low opacity, so it helps push that a little bit. And lighten up the bottom part again. By using white, and we've got that going. Now, just to show you, just a little bit of work there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sample, or actually select this layer here, and just by holding my Command key, and I want to copy all this through a copy merge, Command Shift C, and that's Control Shift C on PC, and I'll do a paste. So I've got a new layer. I can turn these off. I've got a new layer with all of our work done, and what I'm going to do now is line this up. I'll make a copy of the original here from our bottom layer. Let's do Command J, and let's turn off every layer except for this other one here. Okay, now I did this. I should have done this in the beginning so you can actually see the before and after while we're working on it. But I normally work, so we can do the before and after and see how things look. And to push this a little bit further, what we're going to do is on our main layer here that we copied, we'll do curves. So let's do image adjustments, curves, and I want to sample the skin here, about here. And what I want to do is start pushing this up a little bit. Looks good. And last but not least, this little area got a little bit red. So I'm going to go grab my sponge, make sure it's set to desaturate, and I'm only going to do this a little bit because if too much to saturate, it will go totally black and white. But basically pull some of that redness out of the skin. And so that's pretty much it. For more tutorials like this, sign up for our web class, Basic Retouching in Photoshop. And you can sign up for that at tonyteach.com/webclass. Again, and here's the link. That's tonyteach.com/webclass. This has been Tony Ross for tonyteach.com. Remember, keep it simple, make it perfect. If you don't have time to make it perfect, rethink the idea.